Hello, my name is Ashpan Raskar and I'm currently an intern on the Wildfly Electron team as a software engineer. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating how to enable integrity support for a file system realm. Let's get started by discussing what is a file system realm. A file system realm is an identity store backed by XML identity files. Each file contains three pieces of information: the username, also known as a principal, the attributes associated with the identity, and the credentials associated with the identity, such as the passwords. Now, what does it mean to enable integrity for a file system realm? Well, integrity is the means of verifying that the data is exactly what we expect it to be. This means that no unauthorized users or malicious users have modified the identities to make these attributes what they want it to be, or that the file has not been corrupted. We do this using a signature. The contents of the identity are passed into a Java digital signature library using a public-private key pair. This key pair generates a unique signature for the contents of the file. Now, if any contents of the file have to be updated, then the signature also has to be updated. If the signature isn't updated and you try to access data from the file, then it'll flag it as invalid due to the integrity failure. In this video, we'll cover creating a realm with integrity support, what happens when it is modified maliciously, and some additional operations that have been added to assist with the integrity support. Let's get started with the demo. We're going to be taking a look at the integrity file system realm example from the Electron examples repo. I'll have it linked in the description. This application displays the user's principal after logging in, after creating the username and the properties of the identity. Let's go through the configuration script. So first, what we have to do is we have to create something called a key store. This key store stores both the key pair of the file system realm that we're going to use. So we initialize a key store and we name it key store, all one word. We specify the path, which is going to be just key store. We're going to specify it's relative to the JBoss server config directory, so we know where it's located. The type is going to be JKS, and the credential reference is going to be secret in clear text. Then we generate a key pair by calling this key store and using the generate key pair command. We're going to set the alias to user, algorithm to RSA, key size to 1024, and validity to 1 year or 365 days, and the distinguished name to CN equals localhost. And finally, we're going to run the store operation, which stores this key pair in the key store. Now we're going to create the file system realm. So first, we want to create a file system realm called FS realm, and we're going to run the add operation. We're going to set the path to FS realm relative to that same directory as before, the JBoss server config directory. And here we're going to specify the key store as we specified up here, and key store alias as user, as we specified when generating the key pair. Now this will ensure that integrity is enabled for the realm. After that, we're going to add an identity to the FS realm. We're going to name this identity quick start user. Then we're going to set a password using the digest mechanism for digest MD5, passing in the realm and the password, and then assign it to this identity. And finally, we're going to add some identity attributes. So here we're going to specify quick start user as the identity and give it two roles. So we're going to give the name of roles and the value of admin and guest. And the rest of the configuration is irrelevant to this demo, but it just makes sure that the application runs as expected. Now we can go ahead and deploy this application. I already have the Wildfly server standalone running, and so what we're going to do is we're going to run that script in the jboss-cli.sh script. So once we run this, you can see a bunch of stuff will come up on the screen. And now we have to go ahead and just deploy the application. So we do so by running maven clean install wildfly:/deploy, and this deploys our application. So now let's take a look at what the identity file actually looks like. If we go to our standalone config fs realm directory and then go to the QU directory, you can see there's a file called quickstartuser dash a bunch of base32 text.xml. So let's open this file. Now here you can see it has the three pieces of information we talked about earlier: the username or the principal, the credentials, so in this case the password, and then the attributes, roles and admin and guest. But along with that, now we also have a signature tag here, as you can see. This signature tag is unique to this data in this file and is generated using our public-private key pair as well as all the data in the file. So if this signature was modified without the actual contents being modified correctly, then this file would be invalid. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our application. So if we go to localhost 8080/integrity file system, you can see it says hello world and access secured servlet. So now we can go ahead and type in our username and password. For this example, I'll just type in a random one just to show you that it only accepts the correct username and password. So if I hit sign in, nothing happens and it reprompts you. Now if I hit quick start user as the username and type in the password, which is password123 ! And hit sign in, you can see secured servlet, and our current principal as we're logged in is quick start user. Now let's take a look at what happens if you were to modify this file and try to access the data. So once again, let's open this file, quick start user, and say we didn't like this name, quick start user, and I wanted to name it my name, Ashpan. So I go in here, name it Ashpan, and save this file. Now let's go back to the directory that contains the bin.jboss-cli, and what we can do is we can try to access the data of this identity. If we were to go ahead and run the read identity operation on the Filesystem Realm for the identity quick start user and hit enter, you can see there's a big error. There's a lot of errors happening here, and you can see operation handler failed, could not read identity with name quick start because signature for the following identity is invalid. So you can see because of that, now we've verified that the identity is no longer valid. So if we were to go back into our file and just modify this back to what it was, quick start user, and exit the file, you can see that now if we do the same thing, it will verify the file correctly, and you can see we have the name quick start user, attributes, roles, admin, and guest, and it all works perfectly. Along with this integrity feature, I've also added a verify integrity field. So if I run this, it'll show you as outcome success. But now if we were to do the same thing again, standalone configuration fs realm this, and I'm just going to remove one letter to make it invalid, and run that same command, the verify integrity, you can see that it failed, realm verification failed, invalid signatures for the following identities, and then it lists quick start user. So you can see there, it's no longer valid, the identity is invalid. There's also another operation to update the key pair used for the integrity feature for the realm. This can be used so that system administrators can ensure that every 6 months or however long they decide, there's a new key pair used. That way there is enough security in place. So what we can do is we can go ahead and create a new key store. This key store will be named key store 2, the path will be key store 2, and the alias here will be user 2. Now what we have to do is we have to write these attributes to the Filesystem Realm. So here we write attribute key store, and the value is key store 2, and then we can write attribute, the same attribute for the alias. So the key store alias is user 2. And now we can run the update key store command. So if we just go here and write update key pair and run this parameter, you can see it's successful and we just need to reload. And now if we go in and try to verify the data with our new key store, it should work perfectly. Over this video, we discussed how to create a key store, generate a new key pair, and create a file system using that key store to enable integrity. We also added a signature to the identity using this key pair by enabling integrity to ensure all the data was verified. Along with this, we also talked about 2 new operations, the verify file system integrity operation and the update key pair operation. This can be used in assistance for your integrity features for your application. I've linked the example application, the blog post, and any other documentation to assist with the following steps in the description below. I hope this helped, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.